It begins.
Hello.
Hello.
I have to
Oh,
clear my throat to start. That was a good start. Yeah.
there you go. I had a cough. I had a cough all week, but I feel much better today.
Oh,
Couple
that's
good
good.
nights sleep. Yeah, it makes me feel good about myself when I recover from something really quick. I'm like, I'm actually going because you're at that point. I never get sick. Like I had COVID,
Mm.
and sometimes I get a bit sick when I travel and I come back from overseas, but otherwise I never get sick. And I'm like, I feel pretty good about myself. And I did get sick with this cough. And Dan and Joseph had this cough for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And I was like, oh no, I wonder if that happened to me. But yeah, only a couple days. So something I'm doing is working all right. Or some good
Do
genetics we've
you
got.
do you hit like a multi or like a vitamin D or like a immune
Nothing.
support thing? Okay.
Nothing at all. Like I don't change anything to what I normally do. So I have some Revisterol, which is heaps of vitamin C in it. But
Okay.
I've always been having that, and sometimes, and I'll have a little bit of aged garlic, but I've always had that in my mornings.
Abe's garlic.
Aged, like I am aged and old. And then I generally have some sort of omega-3s as well, but that's all. Um, Today I just went and got some vital greens and such, but yeah, no, nothing. So, because I'm pretty sure most of the supplementation once you're sick doesn't do a lot for your immune system. My understanding is that the whole thing of like boosting your immune system or increasing it, it's not really a plausible thing. You've only got a score of like 100 in your immune system. And when you're taking your
Mm.
vitamins and anything else, it's not as much as it's making it 110, it's training it. It gets it used to these like the free radicals, as I understand it, and it makes it more
Okay.
capable of dealing with the sicknesses and such that you get. So I don't think there's a way to actually boost your immune system rather than just improve it as you go. So I think taking too many, I'm not sure, like, but that was my understanding of the immune system boosting. Like vitamin C only works as a preventative measure, not as a measure to reduce the symptoms of
Once
cold
you're
and
sick.
flu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading a book once that the guy was very skeptical around like the whole vitamins thing, like because
Mm,
it's really hard to prove, and I think it is. It's almost impossible, like scientifically speaking, right, to prove whether or not, let's say vitamin C, right,
mm,
whether or not your cold would have been worse or more severe or going for longer had you not taken the vitamin C.
yeah.
Because everyone's immune system starts at a different level, and their response to the virus or the bacteria is different, right? So like whether you're actually supporting it or boosting it or giving it whatever it is through vitamin C or zinc or whatever the hell it is,
Mm,
it's almost impossible. Like because you think from like a scientific standpoint, it's okay, you want to like control all the variables and everyone's at the same playing field, and you give one stimulus and you know what's the change impacted by that one stimulus. It's like, well, you
mm.
can't actually fucking figure out what that specific change is from vitamin C or zinc. You can't, like, it's
You got to
just
consider
impossible,
a
right?
lot of different
Yeah,
things.
there's so many things you can't control for, right?
I think that's the nature of the health industry, right? Like, I talked to a friend of mine who getting really frustrated with it. He's like, "Oh, can't they just have the answer? Like, is it veganism? Is it keto? Is it supplementation? Is it fish oil? Is it what like?" And I think that defines the study in itself. It's
Mm.
so dependent on so many variables that it's difficult to be sure. Uh, but so it's
I
interesting
think
then to think about then, do we believe in the supplements that we do take that they are doing something? So if I think about fish oil specifically, that definitely thins my blood. I can
okay.
see the difference between when I get a blood test when I've taken it or when I get tattoos. That's a big one, actually. When I get tattoos, I piss blood out. There's heaps of blood
Really?
if I've had heaps of so that definitely thins my blood. And I know that that has a connection with a lot of good health outcomes. So I go, there's a pretty good connection there. So there must be some outcomes from some of the supplementation, right? That is measurable.
Yeah. It's you'd hope so, right? Like, how many fish oils are you taking?
Or it varies 2 to 3.
Oh, okay, it's not too many. It's not like you're taking like 6 or 8 or whatever.
I used to when I was
That's
like
pretty
18.
crazy.
Yeah, it definitely thins it.
But yeah, it's funny. So I started taking I mean, to your question, like how can you measure like the actual impact from a supplement or something? A friend of mine at the gym, I put him onto BPC 157 because he had a calf strain,
Yeah.
and then he reckons it was making him feel like anxious and jittery and things, so he stopped taking it. So I was like, oh well, I'll pay you for the rest that you've got left of the bottle. Like I'll buy it off you. So no, just take it. So he gave me like 30 tablets worth of it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Free
Awesome.
peptide. uh,
Woohoo!
that works really well for me.
Yeah, so keep
Uh,
suggesting it to people.
yeah. No, seriously, actually, fuck.
You
I,
look
I,
like you could use this.
I, I don't know if it's good, but I'm seem to like. Someone else came up to me at the gym just this week. Hey man, like Jimmy said that you like told him about BPC 157, like a peptide. Like, what's that about? And I'm like, oh, have I become like the fucking drug dealer? Have I? Like,
Yeah, man. They're going to
I'm
you.
just. I'm
They're looking for the
not
like.
like
Go on.
it's not like the juice. It's not like how do you be bigger. It's like, oh, you're the fucking guy who's always injured and takes shit for it. Like, I must talk to you.
Yeah,
Like it's
you
like
seem to keep. You
the
got
other side.
bandages everywhere, but you keep going.
Yeah.
So like, what's holding you together? What's the
How does
glue?
he keep coming back? Yeah, what's
Yeah,
the glue?
yeah, that's right.
Peptides.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, so I got some off him, and I've had uh common thing you get with CrossFit is elbow problems. So you get like what they call either golfer's elbow, which is your I think it's what do you call out like lateral tendon on your elbow joint is from like tennis. Sorry, so tennis is like lateral and golf is medial, right?
Yeah.
Get just tendonitis, effectively tendonitis in your elbow joint, and so it's pretty common to get either golfers or tennis elbow through CrossFit just because of all like the pull-ups and the barbell work you do and the handstand walking as well. And so like I tried to learn handstand walking and like wall holds and stuff, and my elbow blew up in August, and I've been trying to manage it ever since. Just like take it back, take it easy, and
Mm.
hasn't gone away. And so when he gave me the BBC, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go hard. So I've been taking 2 in the morning and 2 at night when like the recommended daily dose is 1 on the bottle. So I've been
Yeah.
like pushing it, but because I flared up again less than 2 weeks ago. So like Monday last week, it was giving me the shits. Because I did some wall walks just 2 weeks ago. Like did like some really basic stuff, and they put a lot of pressure on your elbow. My elbow didn't like it. Anyway, so Monday comes around, it's hurting. Went to the GP. I was like, look, mate, I want to get an ultrasound. I want to check this out. Like I might want to get a cortisone shot or some shit. So I booked an ultrasound for yesterday. I think it was Friday of last week. He gave me the BBC 157. So fucking hammering 4 a day, 2 in the morning,
Okay.
2 at night. Go to the ultrasound yesterday. The woman's like, I can't see anything. She's like, I can barely find any inflammation in your joint at all. I'm like, fuck off. Like 2 weeks ago, I could barely twisting my elbow to pick something up would hurt like hell. Like it would just hurt generally, like
Right.
during the day, reaching out. And within a week of like, and I've been doing other things, right? Like you do your rehab. I've been doing the ice baths as
Yeah.
well. I've been gone to the sauna a couple of times, a bit more time, like because of my holidays. But like I've done all that shit for a long time. I haven't hammered 4 tablets of BPC 157 like a day for never. And
Mm.
then within literally a week, like the woman's like, I don't think you need a cortisone shot. It's not going to do anything for you
Wow.
because there's barely any tendonitis. Your joint looks. She's like, usually when I do these, she's like, they just look red and inflamed and pissed off. But yours is like a little niggle of inflammation. I'm like,
Ah. So
holy shit.
has that manifested in your training? Like, have you tried the wall walks, walk walks?
Yeah, well, I try to take it like I let the inflammation calm down. So like day to day, it doesn't hurt and stuff. So it's like, okay, like it's not hurting when I'm picking Alessia up or throwing her in the air or whatever it is. Okay, so now I'll try to transfer something to the gym, and so then I'll do it at the gym. That's what I did 2 weeks ago. I tried it at the gym. I thought, oh, it's feeling okay. I'll give it I'll push it, and then I pushed it, and then it hated me. It just instantly blew up. But usually it takes like in the whole week afterwards, it was like irritating the whole week, and yeah, usually it takes a, a good while to start to calm down again, like without any supplementation. But
Yeah.
within less than a week, to have it go from like not being able to use it properly to ultrasound effectively a perfect joint, it's like I'm like,
So
holy shit.
clearly, so you clearly think that this BCP 157 has made a difference.
B, yeah, BPC 157.
BPC.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I like I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, I've rested. Like, it'll be interesting to see if I can get it using it again. So, like, has it actually healed it or recovered it? So I'm gonna finish the course and see how it go. But it's absolutely smashed the inflammation. It's crazy. Like,
Hmm.
I just can't. The other shit that I've been doing, like, because I've iced it before. I used to put ice packs on it and stuff, just like no ice baths, but ice packs on it. Would never feel any different from ice or heat or
Mm,
anything like that. Because tendonitis is a bit like that sometimes.
mm.
And yeah, so yeah. To the
Wow.
previous question, I think there's definitely points in life where you go, yeah, that taking that made a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, some supplementation clearly does something. I mean, I I guess I wonder what that theory is then when we're talking about the vitamins and supplements. But back
Mm,
to the peptide side of it, do you notice that your recovery generally is better?
I think so as well. Like on my dom, I don't have much this week. I've been pretty clear of doms. I mean, like pushing it pretty hard. Like
Yeah, I
last
was
week
gonna
was a big week as well.
yeah, I was gonna say to really push it in the gym to the point where, because normally we have an understanding from our experience with training, right? 110% will fuck us. We can't train for the next 3 days,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's not how we want to train. We want to train every day or as much as close to every day as possible. So if we did a crazy leg day, we wouldn't do that so that we're condemning ourselves the next 4 days of inability to exercise appropriately. So I was wondering, like, have you pushed yourself that extra 10%? And I'd be interested to see if that peptide helps that overall recovery. And if it does, then it enables you almost to perform better in the long run.
yeah. I have been trying to push myself a bit more at the gym last couple of weeks just because I've been on holidays. And it's okay. I don't need to go to work and function as a human. I can come home and chill a bit or just tidy up or whatever. So yeah, I mean, like yesterday, took the day off the gym, but I went for a big, like a long bushwalk, like a brutally long bushwalk, like 12 Ks up and
Cool.
down hills. Like it took me like 3.5 hours. And so usually, like I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna be so sore today and wake up tired. I wanna like and I'm on like workout this morning, felt pretty rested, had a bad night's sleep anyway. Felt okay, 0 DOMs in my legs. My calf's a bit niggly, but that's been a thing for this week as well. Um, but like for yeah, like a 12K bushwalk and like a good few Ks up, just going up a side of a cliff face to have literally no quad DOMs or
Your feet hurt?
hammy DOMs. Feet feel fine, like everything feels
Wow.
good.
That is really impressive because that's in essence what we're looking for at the end of the day. Like I don't have no motivation to train. I have plenty of motivation to train. I have no desire to fuck up the rest of my life because I'm going to train.
Yeah,
It's like you go for that wonderful bushwalk. It seems amazing, but it condemns you for the next, 2 days with
exactly. Yeah, you cooked for a few days,
cramps and
right?
pains. Um, so yeah, that's really good to hear. Very interesting to hear.
I mean, even Wednesday we did like a heavy, like just volume on deadlifts. I had done volume on deadlifts for a while, and like yeah, zero zero DOMs, just nothing.
Wow.
Um,
So what's the long term? Can do you take this on a cycle, the peptide?
there isn't a prescribed cycle like you do for testosterone, so to speak. Like it's very um, as yeah, it's very non-prescriptive in terms of how you'd like take it. So like for example, the bottle says take 1 a day. I found other websites where the bottle will say take 4 a day, and they've got like a higher dosage in the 4 a day bottle, and it's like shit. Well, like how much do you take and how often do you
Yeah.
take it? I definitely think I'll cycle through it during the year. Like I won't hit it all the time. One, it's uber expensive, and two, just to give my body a break. But definitely, like if I'm more stressed or I'm got a little niggle or if the
Mm,
elbow kicks back in, um,
why not?
like I'll definitely, yeah, why not? Like
It's really it's great that you're taking the initiative to do this stuff too, because like for me, when I run into some of these problems that I've had over the years, I'm just like, okay, soccer is causing me pain, like unmeasurable pain the days after. So not unmeasurable, but like, inappropriate. It's really messing with my life. I'm gonna stop playing soccer. And then
mm,
I'll like
mm,
readapt my training. Okay, I'm gonna do a lot more of this and that. Oh, now my shoulder hurts. Okay, I can't do the pull-ups like I used to do. I'm gonna change my training. I like your brute force approach. just very masculine, and just going, "No, fuck it, I'm
Not
gonna. This is what I
intentional, but
want. So I'm
like,
gonna do
yeah,
it."
Do you know what's interesting as well? So I've had the knee for a couple of years now, and I did a little. I was talking to you about this the other day. I did a little tour around a few doctors, a few surgeons,
Mm,
to ask about the knee, and I don't think I asked the third guy, but I definitely asked the first two guys. Like, oh, have you guys heard about BPC 157? Like about peptides? Do you know? Nothing, not a comment at all. And even the third guy, like I think I was kind of asking about different injections. He's like, yeah, there's two injections. There's PRP and there's Monovisc, which is like like an acid, like a hydrochloric acid that gives like a gel, lubricates the joint. But no one. Point being is like in the third place was like the most high-end fucking knee surgery I've ever been to. Like you walk in and it's beautifully done and set up. It's the Knee Institute of Australia. Like the Knee Institute research is around the corner, like in the other office, right?
right.
And he's like, very like as best kind of knee surgeon I could find online, right? But the point is like no conversation about, oh, have you heard of EPC 157? Him as a doctor doesn't bring that to you, or like doesn't. And I'm like, shit, like this stuff like is not brand new. A few years at least, this stuff has been around, and you've got people coming in here, and that it could really help. And there's no conversation about giving it. And I get it. Like you're a medical person, there's no medical research, and you kind of
Mm,
don't want to
yeah.
push something on your client that isn't. But like there's no. But it's not even like a conversation. It's not even a like even the guys I asked, like, have you heard of what is BPC 157? Is what the surgeon asked me. It's like fuck. Like at least you should start or no, or maybe like it's amazing. The point is like just it's interesting, and I think it'll be interesting when we get older. Like I saw older people in the knee surgeries. Like the guy on Monday had both his knees redone. I'm like fuck, like geez, I don't want to be that guy. And I go, well, I don't think I will. One, because I know what I want to do now in terms of taking care of my joints. But two, then like shit, we're gonna do all these other things that are being so fucking different. Like we're
Mm,
gonna take peptides. We're gonna, stay. We're gonna, not gonna walk around on cartilage all like
yeah.
blind and
Not
blind.
gonna
We'll take
jog
peptides.
10Ks a day. That just
Yeah,
dumb
we're gonna be
shit.
smart about it. Like
Yeah.
we'll have, oh, it hurts and I'm 60, right? Well, I know how to rehab it and
Mm,
that sort of thing. And it's like, okay, I think it's gonna be. The point being is, I wonder how much different our generation would be when you get to like the hip replacement, knee replacement, whatever the fuck it is, you're getting replaced, which usually happens when you're 60, 70. Like, hey, I wonder if like, oh, you just walk into the chemist and your knee hurts and you get a BPC 157 injection in 10 years time and you're just fucking on your way, right?
mm. Some stem cells right into the joint.
Some stem cells, yeah. Like it's gonna be just a different conversation in 30 years time.
I wondered too, and I think so. And I think 30 years is probably the right kind of time frame too, because I mean, I'm into the same kind of health initiatives and such. And I give doctors the respect because they don't have, I don't think they have time to branch out to such nuanced things.
Mm.
Like a surgeon is studying the latest surgeries,
Yeah,
the
they're there to
latest
cut,
things to
and yeah.
help his profession. Um, and then a doctor would be doing the same kind of stuff, very specific to a general practice of medicine. So it's hard for them to get
Mm-hmm.
a hold of this. We're relying on research facilities to push through their studies and get it approved, which takes decades. We're well aware of it all. It is a shame, uh, but I guess at the end of the day, it is good that we are like trying and being willing to do this stuff. Like I talked to Dad about it, and he said, "I'm really encouraging him because part of what you're doing, I think, is increasing um, the natural occurrence of these peptides. They already occur naturally. You probably had more of them when you were younger. And I think that a test cycle or any sort of test like testosterone replacement therapy would probably induce a lot of the same recovery effects that you're getting.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, so I talked to Dad about it. So I'm very eager to get on HRT and get it all monitored by the doctor. And
Mm.
also different peptide cocktails once I figure out, a doctor that's willing to let me do it all. And that's over the next couple of years. That's not far away. But I talked to Dad, and speaking of that generation, the 60s and like 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, and Dad, I actually found it very admiring. I said, "So, are you not interested in any of this to rejuvenate yourself?" And he said, "No." I said, "So you're just happy to fade away?" He said, "Yes, I am just happy to fade away." And I think it's very interesting. I think that's
Mm,
very respectful and noble, because in essence, that is what we will all eventually do. And he doesn't want to
true.
fight the fight. He's happy to end up where he goes. And I got heaps of
Yeah.
respect for that, particularly because of how candidly he answered. He's like, yep, didn't even think twice. This is the same motherfucker that's never had an existential crisis. So he said that exactly to me. Like, you never wanted to be something more or better? No. Okay. um, so it is interesting.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
I think part of it too is now that we're coming up into the generation that has so much access to knowledge through the internet and doing our own research, that maybe that will initiate a lot of the doctors to start considering these kind of
Mm,
options more, or perhaps even derive the research become a supply and demand thing to enable us to use this more easily. Like, even when you think about like me on the medical marijuana stuff, like that's taken 10 years for it to show up. And now it's here, it's all on the level. It's still illegal.
very.
So
Yeah, yeah.
it shows there's progress in it. Demand has a like the population's demand for it is a big part. And hopefully as our generation starts to wear down, they'll start reaching out to these different supplements. I guess you'd call them a supplement.
I mean, marijuana is a perfect example, right? Like, just how, from a medicinal standpoint, like how long it's been used, and now even just recently, like how much it's, last 5, 10 years become a common standard for, doctors in the US, and now recently doctors in Australia to be able to prescribe it to clients as from medical benefit. Like,
Mm.
yeah, Exhibit A of something that was underground
Oh, beyond
10 years
underground.
ago.
It's
Yeah, yeah, well, like
whole
illegal, right?
mega illegal.
Yeah,
Dad told me don't smoke weed because it'll make you a dope. I'm like, that's the same fucking thing as a breakfast cereal ad telling you to eat cereal every fucking morning. It's like, where did this come from?
yeah, yeah. The,
And I
the,
guess there's a
the
lot of,
Kellogg's.
like you, even with the BPC 157,
Yeah.
the injectable will be better.
Oh,
But
for sure.
there is but the whole concept of taking it to that level of injecting yourself with something,
Oh,
not just the fear of it, but the connotations that come with it too, is so foreign. It's so like, imagine getting dad or mom to inject
sticking it on
something
themselves.
in, like, it is just all druggy, all horrible, nothing good about it, right? So, I think there's still even some things for us to get over to get to that stage
Oh,
as
for
well.
sure. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
There's clearly a lot, and so thankful that there is a lot of options when it comes to healing ourselves and recovering and
Mm,
lasting longer. Because fuck, man, like exercise has changed so much over the last 5 years for me.
mm,
With just trying to adapt to my body's changing needs. Like I've been doing some bodybuilding work lately. Really fun, so fun.
mm.
Just to go in there, do 3 sets of chest, 3 sets of tries, some ab work, and some like cardio for 10, 15. Oh my God. It was so
This is so
fun, man.
simple.
It's
Yeah.
so easy. Just a light sweat, feel buff,
Yeah.
look good. I'm like, fuck, what am I doing with myself? Um, but I've stopped that because I'm trying to be recovery. A lot of longevity stuff.
Yeah.
I miss being able to train. Like CrossFit seems interesting, but it scares the shit out of me in the sense of like, fuck, I do a couple CrossFit sessions, I'm screwed. Like I got shit to
Yeah,
do in
something's
my
gonna
life.
break.
Like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I want to walk and run and dance. Like I really want to keep dancing. And like, like
yeah.
fuck, if my knees go out, my hips back, I can't dance anymore.
The
Like,
the worst thing I've been getting is I always tear. I'm gonna see like a band-aid here because I tear and I gotta rip my fucking thumb as well. That happens every two, and I tape. I put tape. I wear grips, and then the tape wears halfway through, and then off comes the blister. And like it's just like, and then you wash your hands, and you're screaming in, "What the fuck am I doing with this CrossFit thing?" Like, but yeah, it's this balance of like mental health. It's like I know I need to get there because like I just it clears my mind, and I just love doing it. But yeah, 100% acknowledge that like my body fucking hates it sometimes. Like my elbow, like my elbow's never hurt my entire life until August, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the hell, man? Like it's just
yeah.
really sore.
Another thing's breaking. That's cool. Another joint,
Yeah,
another thing to consider. Eventually, you'll just be doing neck lunges at some point.
I know. Yeah. Like I was talking to a mate. of mine the other day. I had dinner with a few schoolboys, and he was complaining about his shoulder kept popping out, and he's turning 30 next year. He's a bit of a pudge. He's got no muscle. I'm like, mate, like just go to the physio. You don't need to go like unless something damaged in there. The surgeon needs to tie up a labrum, whatever it is. Just because your shoulder pops out, you don't need to go to a surgeon and get the shoulder popped out. Go to physio for 6 months, do some good physio, and then like build some muscle. And guess what? Your shoulder will stop popping out. Like I don't think it's happened in the last few years. It's just I think it's more lifestyle than an actual problem. And he's like, oh yeah, I think I need an ultrasound from. I'm like, mate, ultrasound will show you nothing. And like, oh, mate's like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm like he needs an old MRI. He's like, have you had an MRI? I'm like, yeah, I've had like 10. He's like, what? You've had 10 MRIs? I'm like, yeah, I think so. Probably like pretty close to 10.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a lot. So
Yeah.
I've had all these, and plus all the ultrasound and the stuff that keep breaking. But yeah, you gotta, and I think that's kind of why I like this sort of the supplements like PPC 157. It's like, fuck, it helps me get back in there. Like and keep, it's that balance, that trade off. It's like, all right, there hasn't been any side effects to my body from a physical standpoint, and mentally it helps me feel better. So
because you're not as physically sore.
Yeah, I'm not physically sore. I'm not getting injured. Like I'm being able to get to the gym more and have more fun at the gym. And then being a bit smarter about it as well. Like, all right, well, yes, my elbow feels good, but I'm not going to go and try to wall walk 20 times
because I can't do that. Yeah,
exactly. But like, yeah, being more okay with that. Anyway,
let's talk about 2 points I was thinking about there. So, or maybe at least one. So this BPC 157, it's making you feel better. So it made 2 points. So how's your sleep been going? Have you getting blood tests? Because I wonder, normally less sleep has a direct connotation to increased testosterone. And peptides have a general connection with hormone production. And then the other point I wanted to say, now I noticed the other day, full compliment, is that you're getting bigger. You look broader. Your back looks much bigger. Have you put on weight? And if you have put on weight, you've put on lean muscle. Have you put it on quicker than you have other times? And if BPC is helping you recover, inevitably it's going to help you build muscle more easily. So I guess the combination of the questions there, sleep and blood, any checks with those? And then also, have you made any connection with your ability to perform and your weight and muscle strength?
I'll just answer the second one because I think I have told people like it's not a PED, but the more I think about it, I go, it kind of is a PED because it helps you get back into the gym more. So it helps you like, perform better at the gym. So it does somewhat enhance your performance. So it's like, I guess it's like a quasi PED. So like, I don't know what my weight is. I haven't weighed myself for a long time. I do feel broader and a bit thicker upper body wise, but I think it's more about the training. Like my body's changed a bit this year with CrossFit. Like I think it's just reacted a bit better to the CrossFit style. It's not as if like when I've taken the peptide, it's like gotten thicker or fuller or anything like that. I think it's just the style of training with CrossFit where you hit things almost every day. Like some weeks you'll just do like pull-ups or some back thing every day. And that's just the style of training. And so it's just my body just enjoys that level of stimulus, I think. Sleep is pretty fine actually. Like I've had little actually a couple bad nights, but like not more just routine based. Nothing I don't think is like from the peptide. Due to get a blood test in a couple of weeks actually, so I'm like curious to see if anything pops up with that. But I don't
stay on the BPC while you do it, so you can check when these gone high or low.
Something spiked or some shit.
Because
I'll get my testosterone checked when I get the bloods done.
Yeah, and that'll be very interesting. I think we both naturally have lower testosterone than most. I got mine checked, and mine was the very low end of normal a while ago. I'm like, fuck, man, that's not all right. Like, I'm training all the fucking time, and like, I'm working. Like, no, mine should be at the high end of normal. Like, but you get the cards that you're dealt.
Yeah.
But I think it's like weighing yourself and checking is really, I don't know. I find it very interesting, at least from a way to measure and study yourself. We know you can only put 1 or 2 kilos of muscle on a year, naturally. Like, best bet. So maybe a DEXA scan might be really useful as well. It'd be really cool to see whilst you do this, the differences in your body composition, how your body reacts, versus even now you could do it and then compare it once it goes off. I think as well with the peptides too, you don't necessarily see a particularly, I think it's going to depend on dose and age and everything else, but you're a very trained person. So you're not going to see a particularly exaggerated change. So you see the guys at the gym, we know them, that have been training for 6 months and they've been on whatever they've been on. The muscles look out of proportion because the big ones are getting all the attention. Small ones aren't having enough time to grow. They look weird to me. Like they don't look good. You obviously haven't.
Still catching up, right?
Yeah, well, you haven't had that,
Yeah.
right? You haven't.
Yeah.
If you're
It's like
taking
the
this
eye
now, you've
tests,
got a lot
right?
of
Like,
development already.
yeah, I think it's that too. Like they always, if you ever hear anyone who tells you to take, or who says if you're thinking about taking steroids or even peptides, like get a good base first, right? Like get
Yes, yeah,
good training routine, like learn how to lift a barbell, learn how to do a training program, a 6-week block, like figure out what you're good at, what you're not good at, like get through the basics, learn how to bench and deadlift and squat. And okay, once you've done that for 3 or 4 years and you find genetic limits, then think about some other shit.
Mm.
Because you need that base. Because you look like a retard
Yeah.
if you don't. Like, just
That's
stupid.
hilarious. I don't know if it's attractive, eh? Like, I think when you're amongst it, like I met a guy, he's like 6'7", he's fucking huge. And I was partying with him maybe a year or two ago. And I see him every so often at different parties. He's a nice dude, lovely guy. He was probably an old version of your build, like a build for you maybe 5 years ago, right?
Okay.
Pretty lean, strength in him, but he's pretty fucking lean, upper body particularly. He's 6'7". So he's on some like Turkish
Huge.
test from fucking hell, and with every other combination. And I'm talking to him about steroids. He's like, nah, steroids are different to test. You get testosterone and then you get steroids. Okay, whatever. It sounds like semantics to me, but whatever. So you get testosterone and then they stack it with other stuff.
Or like HGH and shit like that. Yeah.
Well, I always thought that was a stack, like human growth hormone and testosterone, but there's other fucking peptides like anabar, and then there's there's dead set something called like Test Monzilla. I don't know what the name is, but it starts with T, and it just sounds like a chemical that shouldn't have been made. Anyway, it also sounds like it's almost automatopoeia in a visual perspective. The motherfucker looks like a Turkish testosterone fucking thing. So he's so jacked now. It's been a year and a half. He's gone 3 or 4 cycles, huge cycles. So jacked, ripping out like his arms, but he looks ridiculous. Like he's 6'7", and I go to him, "Sure, are you done?" Like he must be 115 kilos now. I'm like, "You're done, right?" Goes, no, I'm gonna do 1 more cycle. I'm like, whilst this is happening, his knees are exploding. He's playing soccer because his body's so out of whack. His knee has exploded. He's done a full surgery, fixed it up, had the brace and everything, waited a season, played the next season, 2 games, bang, the other knee goes.
Again, like that's why you gotta your body's gotta grow into this stuff, that weight and that stress on the tendon and the joint that new muscle puts. He's just.
I saw him at the gym when he was starting. He was starting. He was looking the part. I'm like, good on you, man. High five. Let's keep going. And firstly, I'm annoyed at him because he's way bigger than me now. I'm like, fuck. But the other part too was just like such a willingness to go so heavy on gear. At the same party I was at, everyone else around me is talking about their cycles that they've done in their early 20s. Everyone at the gym I go to, you watch the kids, because all the supplement stores are selling SARMs, which is a peptide, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? They sell it out of the store?
Out of the store. It's not illegal to have. It's not illegal to sell. It's illegal to consume as a human, I think.
Fuck off.
Anyway, so I watch these kids just get jacked super quick. And I go,
just good stuff. Like, it works. Like, that shit.
I don't know anything about it. Do you?
It's like a safe, like inverted commas, safe testosterone, right? Like it just does. It's meant to be a testosterone-esque steroid. It's not as good as straight testosterone, but it doesn't fuck with your natural testosterone production and like doesn't give you the side effects like hair loss and other shit like that. Like it,
That's a winner.
yeah, it's like a middle, not even middle ground. It's like 80% of what you get with testosterone, and you don't get the side effects. Fuck, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
wow, interesting. Is that
Yeah,
something that you've considered?
I've thought about it. I don't really want it. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm happy to be, again, like I'm happy to be, my goals more like you, like longevity, pain free, keep doing it. I don't really care about, like, yeah, I care about numbers, but then I'm not dying to hit huge numbers and shit like that.
No. I just want to be able to do it consistently. I don't want to wake
Yeah,
up feeling like I'm like standing up out of bed is like the hardest task of my day.
I got a friend of mine. He's taking we started on he's like exhibit A, what not to do. Like didn't train, started training, instantly took peptides. Wasn't getting the results he wanted from peptides. Started taking like straight testosterone, and like doesn't train properly. So one, like if you do that, you don't train properly, you're not going to see the same results. Like
Mm.
if you're not training hard, if you don't learn how to push your body, how to train hard enough, how to do a proper program, like you will get bigger, but you will not look like you're on proper juice. So like he looks thicker, but if you looked at him and you go, oh, you're like juicing hard, like no, like you just train, good for you. It's like no, he's like taking like tons of shit, and like the side effects kicking in. His hair, he's losing his hair. He's got like hair loss, like treatment he's taking now for his hair. And I was like, mate, you're like in your 20s and like you're not training how you should. You're not using the drug. If you really wanted to use it, you could be so much bigger. And you're losing your fucking hair from it. Like, what are we doing? Like,
What are we doing here? Yeah, exactly. You need to reconsider your goals here because a bald,
yeah,
muscly
like,
guy is not as
yeah,
attractive.
like it's just,
Yeah, that scares the shit out of me, losing hair. Like, fuck that. I can get
yeah,
bigger. I just need time. And then hairs, nothing's happening.
yeah, no, like my hair.
Oh
I don't
man.
get bald.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
no,
That's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's certainly been something that's been more prolific lately because I find that my lifestyle, like with the recovery and the peptides, my lifestyle is so influenced by my soreness and recovery. Like
mm,
I'll train, I'll
mm,
do my stuff, do whatever, do the best I can through the day. And then like, I got to sit and chill for a bit, whatever it is I'm doing. Maybe I'm working. So I've been standing up a lot more. The reason why is because afterwards my legs will just get DOMS. If I sit down for an hour in a seated position, I'll get DOMS from the exercise I did in the morning because I do
oh
legs,
yeah, yeah,
some leg workout most days. And
yeah.
like, fuck, man. Or I get up in the morning to go train and literally getting out of bed is just like, ugh, fuck, my
Yes.
body is fucked. And I'm trying to think of alternatives to my normal approach. Okay, I'll just go and then push something for a bit. Like, yeah, it is the question that we balance out between what longevity looks like for us and then the risks that we're taking with the supplementation we want to take to see that longevity through.
Yeah, yeah.
Because,
I was
like,
thinking about that actually. Yeah. So go on.
no, well, because like the BPC, it all seems all good, and I'm sure it is fine, and it's just another supplement at the end of the day. There's so much fear mongering with this shit too. It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
understand. So, and it's just short. It's only been around for a while, like in scientific circles, I
It's
guess.
brand new, right? Like, yeah, it's realistically, it's super brand new.
So
And I was
yeah,
thinking
so
about
it's
this
tricky,
idea
but don't
around
measure.
like longevity, right? Like, one, you want to keep doing this when you're older. Like, I just want to keep doing CrossFit, or yeah, probably there'll be a day where it stops, right? But like, as long as I can, I want to try to do this or something similar. Like I think about the Olympic lifting I used to do, and like I loved it, loved the heavy squats, heavy clean, the stuff like that, and I can't do it anymore. It's like, oh, it's a bummer. And like wish I'd took a different approach to just fucking going ham at it for 2 years and breaking my knee. Um, but I was thinking about as well, like what's longevity? What do we want? And we went, so Naomi, Alessia, and I went to Flip Out, which is like a trampoline thing on Monday, and I was bouncing around with Alessia, and like could feel my elbow, like I just was conscious of my elbow, like I'd land, or like trying to do something silly and land my elbow, like, oh, it kind of hurts. My knee was a little bit niggly, like, oh, this is giving me the shit. It's like, okay, like this is what I mean. This is really what's important to me. Is like, yes, I'll get through flip that with Alessia and our next child, but like it's when I'm 60 and I'm the grandparent. Like I don't want to be the grandparent sitting on the bench. I'll be the grandparent out there jumping on the
Mm,
trampoline because it's way
mm,
more fucking fun.
yeah.
Just it's not even like it's more of a personal thing. Like it's gonna be more fun for me when I'm 60 to be on the trampoline with the grandchild than it will be to be the old fucker sitting on the bench waiting for them to finish their turn, right? It's like for me, that's the kind. I need to start shifting away from like yes, CrossFit's good, but what's the like? I need to think longer term,
Mm.
like long, and that's what my knee as well. Like I don't want arthritis in my knee.
Mm.
Period. End of story. Don't want it. So like, okay, no heavy squats, no heavy cleans. Stop doing that shit.
Hmm.
Rehab. Always just rehab, rehab, rehab. How do I make it feel good all the time, all the time, all the time? And yeah, that's what avoid. And then yeah, combine that with maybe being a bit smart about or a bit forward thinking about supplementation and peptides and things like that.
Mm.
Then fingers crossed when you get to 60, you can actually do flip out.
Man, flip out was fucked my knee. See, I
Yeah.
pulled some fucking cartilage or whatever off the fucking bone. I think you're so right too. Like you were saying, that's probably my knee problem because it is just like it's this like little pinchy pain, no tear or anything. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I should see a knee surgeon. Um, but yeah, it is a good point, isn't it? It's just like how does that look, and how do you
What's the
feel
measure?
then?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because I love the Bruce Lee thing. Like be like a water. Water goes into the cup, it becomes the cup. Water goes into the bowl, it becomes the bowl. Be like water. So I like to think of like that for training too. It's that like it's okay,
Okay.
it's fine. Training is the goal. Like being active is the outcome. Like
Yeah.
physically
Yeah. Yeah.
pushing
Yeah.
myself, feeling drained. Like the sauna is a good example. Like that
Yeah.
really wrecks me after 20 minutes. That's a good challenge. Is it what am I training here? Not just my body, but there's a mental mentality that comes into this where I need to. That's part of the training. And so, how do you feel then? Let's assume CrossFit will not be of inevitability forever.
Mm.
CrossFit will die. How do you feel about transferring to other exercises or other types of training? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think I somewhat mentally acknowledge that I'll need to stop it one day and do things just like I'm more of a runner or like a longer distance kind of a person, like sit on a bike, do that sort of stuff. Um, it's reluctantly acknowledging that. Like I think it's like, oh, I don't really want. I'm not ready for that yet. Like I'm still happy to do. Like I don't want to, But yeah, you're right. Like it is. Yeah, to answer your question. Perhaps I'm certainly not like water. I'm very much just happy to do CrossFit for a bit.
You are
Like
like
if it's like
ice.
I'm like ice, like the fucking cube. Like just shove me in the CrossFit hole and let's keep doing it. But like I mean, I quit. Like I quit. Like I had to give up. I was loving doing heavy lifting and stuff, and like it's not happening ever again. So it's okay. Well, I moved on. It's going to be hard with CrossFit because there's always a way to sort of work around something. But if like I said, the elbow gets worse, hypothetically, a tear out or something in the next 12 months, it's all right. Well, it's probably a sign that it's not for you.
Mm,
The thing I'll miss the most is the competition. Like I
yeah.
love like you and I are naturally competitive people, and this every day you get in the gym, you can be competitive. Just like not indirectly. There's always someone better than you, or someone pushing you, or you might be good at one workout and then they smash you in the next workout. It's like fuck, like oh, okay, I could have done that better, or like whatever it is. It's just I would need to find something that satisfies that competitive desire because that's probably the most addictive part about CrossFit right now is
Mm,
like competing every day.
mm. Yeah, as you're saying it, I haven't had competition in a physical sense for years and years and years and years. And I do miss it heaps. I know what you mean. Like
It,
even the camaraderie of a team, like you do CrossFit
mm,
teams and you're doing something, just to high five somebody after you've accomplished something together is really something. Something
even
physical
it's
too is so overcoming.
yeah, it's this weird competitive environment where you are like even if it's individuals workout and everyone's doing the same thing and someone beats you, you're like happy for them because they went through the same pain as you and they pushed
Mm,
they're fitter or they pushed as hard. So it's like it's not like like soccer and you versus the team, you're like fuck that guy, he went for a hard tackle, he's a dick. Like you get upset at your competitors, but this
yeah.
is a sport like where like even when I was doing a proper comp or like even any day of the week I come to the gym, I never upset anyone. It's today, like this morning, like this guy He's a newer guy, and like he's sort of skinny and lanky. And I worked out next to him this morning. I'm like, oh, I should be able to get him, and he fucking killed me. Asshole, like maybe like just crushed me in this workout. I'm like, why is he so quick? Like walk up to him, like, hey man, like well done, like you really pushed me, like oh this was a great workout. Like I just felt like like I couldn't believe you were so quick. It's like oh yeah, thanks. Like I felt good. It's just, but it's so you can be mentally as competitive as you want to be in a normal sport, but there's not like that macho douchebag output to it because you can't. Because everyone's getting their ass kicked at the same time. There's like this collective suffering that everyone sort of goes through that you kind of empathize as a group.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Like one of the reasons I wanted to stop playing soccer wasn't just the pain. I just hated the fucking person I became when I played.
Yeah,
like, I'm so
100%.
kind and like just generous. I just want to be sweet and happy. And then I get on there and like not just to my fucking opponents, but to my teammates. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like I am pushing hard here and you're fucking up. Like, yeah, and I just felt like that is so against who I am. But that does sound really appealing, doesn't it? Like, I'm still not going to do CrossFit unless I start taking steroids or something serious because like I said, I got shit to do in my life that like you can settle down. You got a wife and a kid. It's all good. I got to keep trying to impress people here, man. Like I got I got to do shit.
Hence the bodybuilding, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, okay. You know what? I want to be able to do the splits. Like, yeah, that's right, baby.
Must get laid.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. No, that's not even motivation anymore. I'm doing it. I'm like, God, do I even need to do this anymore? Like, fuck, man. Like, people my age don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Finding the girl that's working out at my age is like,
oh my God. Right now is they don't give a shit. You got a job? I'll take it. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. You can construct a sentence. Yeah, it's slim pickings at this point. So, how about I can get?
Where'd all the good people go, right?
I'm waiting. That's for sure.
All right, man. We should wrap it up.
Yeah, I've got a meeting in a couple minutes. So yeah, thanks for the chat.
Cool.
I'm glad that your recovery's doing well. And maybe when I how much is the BPC?
$160
for a month.
I sent you for tablets for 60 tablets. Depends how you want to take them.
Okay.
Recommend the 4 a day.
And the injectables?
Yeah, they're $300, and I think you get 25 days worth.
Shit. Okay. Cool.
Not much. Or 25 shots worth. It's like one a day. Yeah. Let's see how you go when you hit it. See how you feel.
I'll go take a DEXA and get my bloods.
Yeah, do it before and after. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll track it and we can have another chat about it.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Thanks,
All
Dave.
right, man. Thank you.
Speak to you soon.